So I'm still in the square in Patan, and it turns out these three large buildings that I've been looking at here are known as chalaks, or I'm probably mispronouncing that, and they're three royal palaces. It was once its own separate kingdom, and it was taken over and incorporated into the empire. But as you can see, we've still got the three large temples here, and they're very beautifully and intricately carved. And what we're looking at over here, of course, is that great big building that I went inside, that little square, and did a little look around in there. And at the back of that was where the restaurant was. So now I'm here at the largest stupa in Kathmandu. It was once the largest in the world apparently, however there may be a larger one in Nepal, in Tibet. So this particular stupa here, as you can see, was actually started in the 8th century by a lady who wanted to build a stupa, and she went to the king to ask could she have some land to build a stupa because she had none herself. And he said, you can have as much land as you can build one on. So her, being a very smart lady, built the biggest one that she could. She wasn't able to complete the actual stupa herself, and nor were her 4 sons. So they built as much as they could, but they did run out of money, being that they were only farmers. However, that was in the 8th century. 4 centuries later, they actually were reincarnated as princes of different royal families, one from Tibet and one from India. And they had a dream about needing to build a big stupa, and actually ended up meeting up 4 centuries later, reincarnated as princes, and came together and actually finished the job. And this is what we're seeing here now. It's hard to capture just how many monkeys there are around at the moment. Silly boys brought out some food. Tourists just throwing them a whole bunch of peanuts and send them all crazy. Good morning. So here I am on top of a hill in Nepal. So just down below me we've got a place called Narancourt, and what I'm doing is standing on top of this hill waiting for sunrise, hoping that there's not going to be too much fog and we're actually going to see a sunrise over the Himalayas. Now I call this place a hill, and I do that because that's what the Nepalese would consider this. However, I am currently standing on a mountain taller than Mount Kosciuszko, which is obviously the tallest in Australia, so therefore I'm higher than any mountain in Australia, although the Nepalese, again, only call it a hill. As you can see in the background, it's looking like daylight is starting to break. However, I'm still, with the naked eye, not seeing a lot of light coming at the moment. I've got my SLR set up, as you can see here. So with any luck, I'll get myself a lovely view, but I'm thinking I'm going to get a very foggy valley instead. We'll see what we get. So it looks like the fog has defeated me, and sadly I'm not going to see that sunrise over the mountains. However, the view that I've got back there is pretty spectacular, and there was even a little peak at Everest. I've been told that the mountain that I'm seeing behind me is actually in the smaller end of the scale. I need to go out to Pohara to see the proper size mountains, and that Everest base camp is even higher than where I am right now, and that's just the base camp. Oh well, looks like I'm going to have to come back in September and I'll get to see them properly then. Alright, so we've moved locations. We're now up at the Naracoorte Tower, and as we've come up we've actually found the sun's come out, which is nice, and it's giving me a little bit of light to be able to see the sun on the mountains, and it's truly spectacular. The only problem is I don't have the world's greatest zoom lens, and they're more than 50 kilometers away, so I'm not getting the amazing photos that I'd really like to be able to show you. So this is the path back down from the Naracoorte Tower. As you can see, it's made of these lovely old bricks, but they're not in perfect condition, so you do have to be a little bit careful. Hi, welcome to the top of Helena's Restaurant and Birav. It's purported to be the highest cafe in the Tamil area, and it's amazing. The view here is just phenomenal. So I can see all these surrounding hills. There's enough fog that it is obscured a little bit, but it's clear enough that I can actually see. And of course, I have been corrected, they are hills, not mountains, although some of them are quite substantial. I can see just over behind me here, it's actually the Monkey Palace that I went and saw the other day, and it actually doesn't look as high as from here as it did when I was actually at the Monkey Temple, so it's quite interesting to see perspective when you get to different areas. So that's the Monkey Temple that I'm zooming in on right now. And as you can see, it just looks like this tiny little blip on some of the hills.